To build muscle, it's like filling up this cup. Every drop represents hard work, careful planning, and discipline. But what happens if the cup has got a hole in it? No matter how much you pour in, effort, discipline, sweat, it just keeps leaking out. This is what happens when you get older and your body faces things like anabolic resistance and lower muscle protein synthesis. You work harder, but without the right approach, the gains slip through the holes. Today, we're going to use a cup without a hole so you can optimize your post-workout nutrition to keep every ounce of your hard work locked in. I'm Simon H, and in this video, you're going to discover why after my training sessions, the contents in this shaker comes well before my steak meal when it comes to optimizing my post-workout nutrition. You see, what I'm about to share with you today isn't your typical bro science. Nah, it's a combination of unbiased research and razor-sharp logic. Because, after all, science explains the world. Logic makes sense of it all. Now first, before we kick things off, let me give you a quick in and out of the one nemesis when it comes to building muscle, especially as you start to get older. And that is anabolic resistance. Knowing this will give you a better understanding of what I do and why I do it. Anabolic resistance is the silent saboteur of muscle building after 50. A stealthy villain that weakens your body's ability to respond to protein and kickstart muscle growth. It's like your muscles are wearing noise-cancelling headphones, ignoring the signal to grow and repair. This resistance directly battles muscle protein synthesis, the hero in charge of you turning that protein you eat into the muscle you want. Together, they form the ultimate nemesis duo, slowing down recovery, stalling growth, and making muscle building feel as if you're fighting a losing battle. Now you know this. By upping your game with precision, like optimizing your post-workout nutrition, you can amplify muscle protein synthesis and flip the script. Oh, before I forget, let me just make this one thing clear. Now, when it comes to fueling your body, whole foods should always come first. But when it comes to immediately profiting from the stimulus of a hard, intense workout, a carefully crafted protein shake patches up the hole in your muscle building cup to lock in your gains and primes that body for recovery. I want you to think of your post-workout period as prime soil for planting seeds. The longer you wait, the less fertile that soil becomes. If optimizing your workout isn't your top priority and you're used to eating whole meals after you train and it works for you, well, there's no need to change things. Now here's the trick. I don't just throw in anything into my shaker. Nah, I engineer my recovery. So let's start with the foundation, which is a good quality whey protein. Stay away from that cheap whey protein you find on the shop shelf in your supermarket. Often these things are filled of stuff you can't pronounce and a lot of fillers. While whole, unprocessed protein should be your go-to, in the case of a post-workout nutrition, whey protein, a good quality whey protein, is much more efficient and faster absorbing, which will kickstart your muscle building machinery faster than steak. While the anabolic window isn't a race against the clock, when it comes to how to build muscle with age, sooner is better than later. It ensures you maximize muscle protein synthesis, overcome anabolic resistance, and promote optimal muscle growth and recovery. Waiting unnecessary risks a weaker response, particularly as the body's efficiency in processing protein declines with age. Okay, The next thing I add to my protein shake is 5 grams of freeform L-leucine. Yes, adding 5 grams of freeform L-leucine is very beneficial to somebody like me who's 54 and trying to overcome anabolic resistance and maximize my muscle protein synthesis. Here's why. Freeform L-leucine is rapidly absorbed and quickly raises blood plasma leucine levels. This immediate spike is crucial for triggering the mTOR pathway, which drives muscle protein synthesis. Protein sources like whey are rich in leucine, about 2.5 grams per 25 gram serving. But by adding 5 grams of freeform L-leucine ensures that you exceed the 3 to 4 gram leucine threshold needed for older men. Whey protein provides a complete amino acid profile necessary for muscle repair and growth. Now, freeform L-leucine enhances the effect by ensuring that leucine thresholds are not just met, but they're exceeded. Now, when you add them together, they create a powerful anabolic stimulus for recovery and muscle growth. Studies like those of Churchwood suggest that leucine alone can stimulate muscle protein synthesis faster and more effectively post-workout, especially compared to slower digesting proteins like whey. Now, the third thing that goes in that magical shaker is 20 grams of collagen peptides. Now, this is really effective when it comes to connective tissue synthesis, especially because it's beneficial for your joints and tendon health under physical stress. Now, there are 3 amino acids that I'm after when I take collagen peptides, and that is your glycine, your proline, and your hydroxyproline. Now, you might be saying to me, well, hasn't the whey got that in there? Well, let me explain the differences between the collagen and the whey protein. So let's start with glycine. The glycine profile in the collagen peptides makes up 33%. And when you compare that with whey, it only makes up 1 to 2%. When it comes to proline now, proline makes 10 to 20% of the amino acid profile in collagen, while it only makes 5% in whey. And hydroxyproline now is unique to collagen peptides. You don't find it in whey, but it is absolutely essential, as with the other 2, for that connective tissue synthesis. One of the last things to go in the shaker is an electrolyte powder. Now, electrolyte powder is super important, almost important as the other ingredients. Let's just take the sodium, for instance. Adding sodium post-workout is absolutely essential, simply because it helps deliver things like your glucose and the amino acids more efficiently and effectively to your muscle cells. Also, we burn a lot of magnesium and potassium and sodium through our training, and those things need to be replenished. Okay, the last thing that I usually add to my shake, or I used to add to my shake, was a high glycemic carbohydrate, like dextrose. Now, since those days, I've now changed dextrose to a bowl of jasmine white rice, just because the health profile is a lot better than dextrose. Now, adding a high glycemic carbohydrate to your protein shake is absolutely essential, because that is what's the delivery, that's the transport to getting that protein where it needs to go. Now, quickly, just before I go, there are 3 other things that I take that really amplify that shake. And the first one is vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is not only good for oxidative stress and getting all that inflammation under control, but it also helps the synthesis of the collagen powder. The second thing that I add is an omega-3. Now, back in the day, I used to use fish oils, but since then, and learning that fish oil, a lot of the stuff that we get in the store is quite rancid. I've now changed that to Atlantic krill oil, which has a very good profile when it comes to the DHA and the EPA inside it. So I use krill oil. I use about 2 grams. And then the last thing I use is some digestive enzymes to help make sure that I'm absorbing all of the protein and not wasting that hard work. Okay, one of the most important reasons why I've decided to have a shake immediately after training, although there's no big thing about anabolic windows, is because my schedule's changed. So before training, my last meal before training may be 2.5 hours to 3 hours before training. So that's quite a big window before training. So what I usually do is in my pre-workout, I will take a supplement called HMB, which reduces muscle breakdown through workout. So I'll take that, I'll train, and then immediately following training, my main objective is to get out of that catabolic stage into an anabolic stage. And the best way to do that and to derive nutrients and to enhance my recovery faster is a shake. Now, I'll eat my steak meal, but I'll usually wait probably an hour, 90 minutes after my post-workout shake to have my steak meal, my last whole meal of the day. Now, the combo I just showed you, it patches up the hole in your muscle building mug, it locks in the gains, and it primes your muscle for recovery. Because when it comes to how to build muscle without steroids or TRT, as you age, every ounce matters.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
When you download our free cheat sheet, not only will you discover the secrets to transforming your body and your life in your 50s faster than you ever imagined, you'll also discover how to gain muscle in your 50s. This will shock you, not only because of how easy it is, but the speed at which you'll see results. You'll also find how to lose weight in your 50s. We'll reveal the method that completely flips everything you thought you knew on its head. No fad diets, no grueling cardio sessions. And if you've been feeling like a dead car battery, it's time to get your energy back. We'll show you how. Now, the link for this free cheat sheet is in the description.